All right, live and in action. Let's
What's
go. What's
up?
up? What's up, Chris?
Chris Kirksey's in the game too. What's up, Josh? I'm ready. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I'm stoked for it too. We'll let people kind of jump in before we hop into like the presentation and everything, and I'm just gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up the live on my LinkedIn that way because sometimes comments are a little bit weird on Restream, and
Yeah,
we can't.
same with StreamYard. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. I used to have to pull it up my phone, but I don't want to be looking on my phone, so I'll do the same.
yeah, for sure, for sure. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. That way I can just see some of the
I
comments
like to get
that.
a
But
comment back, man, especially when
yeah,
people are showing love.
you gotta. All right, there we go. Found it.
I'm jumping into.
All right, let's go. All right, we'll let people kind of come in here, trickle in. I'm sure it takes a couple minutes for people to jump in. What's up, Victor? Victor, what's good, brother? Come to all the lives. I love to see it. Love to see it.
Love to see the consistent faces.
That's right. That's right. Where you guys? Real quick, drop in the chat. Where you guys tuning in from? Drop your location real fast. That way, Chris and I can get a gauge for where everyone's at.
Oh, what's up, Corey? Long time no see.
Said Cunningham. Let's go. Love it. Let's see who else is jumping in here. Cozzolino, what's good?
Casalino's a
Abdullah.
legend.
Yeah, legend, dude. Legend in the LinkedIn space. If you guys don't follow Chris Cozzolino, he will literally blow you up on LinkedIn.
He will, and he'll get you leads like you never knew you could.
That's right. That's right. What's up,
We got
Daniel?
Greece in the house. All right.
That's crazy. Someone from Greece. That's wild. Fort Lauderdale in the
I'll see you
building.
soon, Alfred. I'm moving back to Miami in like 2 weeks.
Let's go. We got Austin, Texas. What's up, Tyler? Corey Woods in Vegas. I just got back from Vegas. We did the acquisition.com.
Oh, you did that? Nice.
Yeah, workshop or whatever that they're doing. It's pretty
great,
good.
man. I like what they're doing there.
Yeah, it's super good. Highly recommended if you guys haven't checked that one out yet. So make sure you go to that if you're looking to go to a good event / workshop.
I just got back from Austin. Actually, I went to what was the event there? It was a big tech event. SaaS Docs. I went and spoke there, and I didn't realize how big like SaaS has become in Austin. It is like, I mean, it's really like the second coming of San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, they're growing out there, man. All those tech companies are kind of shifting over there. New Silicon Valley, apparently.
It really is, and it's got good food, so it's kind of hard to beat. What's up, Brian from West Palm Beach? That's where my mom lives.
Let's go.
Time to time.
Vic in Scottsdale. Let's go. All right. We gave people a few minutes. Hey, got to be on time, got to be on time if you want the good stuff. So I'm really excited for today's chat, guys. Chris and I have been making a big push on LinkedIn over the past few months. And we have started to get really good traction with the content operating system. And if you guys are familiar with like Justin Welsh at all, this is kind of like some of his methodology mixed with some of the stuff that I'm doing inside of ClickUp. And I thought it would be really cool to also bring Chris on here to kind of give his perspective, how he's utilizing some of ClickUp as well as his audience to be able to grow his following. And so over the past 4 or 5 months, ever since I've kind of started down this LinkedIn route, I've been able to grow 50 followers per day on average over the course of these 5 months. So if you guys are looking to grow a following on LinkedIn, the system is going to be really powerful for you guys to implement into your business. And if you guys are wanting some templates and some really cool resources, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 templates at the very end here that you can drag and drop into your ClickUp system in order to make your content writing, your ideation, because like that's where I usually get stuck is some of that ideation, some of the writing stuff. Like sometimes you just kind of get some of that writing block. And so I've kind of developed a system to help me move past some of the writing block, post more consistently. And when you guys can post 1 to 2 times per day on LinkedIn, you guys are going to grow regardless. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys some of the back end and some of the things that we're doing to consistently grow on LinkedIn. And then of course, Chris will be able to share some of his cool takeaways as well.
Absolutely. So these lives don't hurt either.
These lives don't help. If you guys aren't doing lives, you got to get on board, man. You just got to start doing them. You can send invites to your entire list of followers, which is crazy. So I think we had 300-ish people saying that they're going to attend this, which normally, I think normally I say
30. 1/6.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
1/6 maybe. Yeah,
yeah.
something along those lines, will attend. So it's
But
like,
then people watch it afterwards. That's the
yeah,
beauty of it. Then you get
yeah,
another like 20% to 25% watching afterwards, which is key.
exactly. Yeah, it's evergreen. It's evergreen. So excited to share the system with you guys today. Chris and I are going to go into a little share screen here, and I'm going to take you guys through what we call our Hydra content operating system. And the whole idea is like the more content that we post, the more leads we're going to get, and the more leads we get, of course, the more deals that we're going to be able to close. If you guys are running a service business, we run this with all of the service businesses that we consult with, as well as our service-based business. So if you guys are running service-based businesses, this works really well. But if you're running, software or whatever as well, this will also work for you. All right, so let's hop in. How we think about content. And if you guys, once again, are not familiar with Justin Welsh, I put a link here, and make sure you guys stay to the end because I'm going to drop the link to this presentation so you can download all of the templates. So I'll plug that at the very end so you can get all the templates. But if you guys aren't familiar with Justin Welsh's Content OS course, man, it's so good. And I'm not going to cover in depth this course today, but it's $100, and I'm telling you, it will give you a lot of the tools and resources to write consistently. If you've not checked it out, would highly recommend it. I don't even know Justin, but there is a link to his Content OS course inside of this presentation. But how we think about content is essentially just in 3 specific areas. Okay, it's going to be hubs, spokes, and templates. And I'm going to describe each and every single one of these to you guys today. So what is a hub exactly? Well, a hub is just simply a piece of long form content. This is like kind of like what is going to influence the rest of our short form content. So as an example, this could be like something like a newsletter. This could be a podcast. This could be a YouTube video, blog post. And for us, we do a lot of newsletter writing. So for us, our hub is going to be newsletter writing. This is where we're going to store all of our content as far as like the big pieces that we're pushing out. Okay. So Hydra's Hub, we write something called the management memos. Okay. If you guys aren't subscribed, you can go to our website, subscribe to the management memos. It's not why we're doing this, but you can, have some sort of hub where it's like you're posting your long form content. Okay. This is what is going to generate all the ideas for your short form content. So that's our hub. So what is a spoke exactly? Well, a spoke is just a piece of short form content, short form social media content. This could be something like a tweet. So from a long form newsletter, there's probably 4 or 5 different takeaways that you could put into a tweet, into a LinkedIn post, a Twitter thread, a LinkedIn carousel. You could do a short form YouTube video. You could do a LinkedIn live. You could do a YouTube video specifically on something more long form that you either wrote or recorded. So hopefully that's making sense so far. If that's making sense, drop a 2 in the chat for me. Okay, drop a 2 in the chat if that's making sense so far, because I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So we have hubs, and then it's going to break out into spokes. Okay, so our spokes, we write on Twitter. So we'll take some of our long form stuff from our newsletter that's doing really well, and we'll bring it over into Twitter. We'll bring it into more of like a YouTube type video. We'll bring it into a LinkedIn post. And that's where we really started to develop some of our spokes, was kind of taking that long form content and then redistributing to the rest of platforms. And if you guys have, followed like Gary Vaynerchuk for any amount of time, you're like, yeah, like shoot the long form and then chop it up into short form content. Everyone kind of knows that exists. But the thing there is going to be letting your long form kind of inform your short form content, right? So stuff that is performing well in your hub, you bring to your spokes. Okay. And this is kind of what the hub and spokes model looks like specifically for us. So I'm a big proponent of, if you can't do it well and can't do it consistently, then you probably shouldn't do it at all. Okay. So for us, we don't post on every platform. So our main spokes are going to be Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are the things we do well. I don't post on TikTok. I don't really post that much on Instagram. We just don't do it well yet. We don't have the team. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the system set up to be able to do those platforms effectively yet. So we just focus on what we can do well, which is Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then our hub, which is writing our newsletter. So it's like we're going to consistently write our newsletter. Our newsletter is going to inform our YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We're going to spread it out that way. Now, in between here, how we kind of write in this hub and spoke is like, hey, we'll write threads from our newsletter. We'll write listicles. So if you have like a software list that you're like, hey, these are the best softwares that we're using in the agency space today. Contrarian viewpoints, observations that you're pulling from, case studies that you're working with clients on. So if you guys are running an agency, you might have a really good observation of like, hey, we noticed that our click-through rate dropped when we did this. Sweet. Be able to share that observation with people. Okay. Stories. Okay. What client nightmares have you had? What client successes have you had? Right. And we plug all of those into our newsletter and then eventually move them into our spokes.
And just to quickly chime in, Josh, I was the same way. We at ClickUp, we literally could only hit these, and we never had any success with TikTok and Instagram. But I found the new wheel, just add in like the hub and spoke. What you need to do is you just need to find an amazing creator. Like I found this one good creator, Luke, for TikTok. In the past like 4 months, we've grown to 50K. And then from there, same way as I repurpose here, I can take the really good TikTok, I can repurpose it to Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc. So I agree with mastering this side. And then for the other side, just find a good creator. That's really the only way, because they get it. Someone who's done it before, someone who's went viral. That's kind of the key. And then you can master both sides.
For sure. And you have to understand, like, I don't have the resources necessarily that ClickUp has in order to run all of this content as well. So, you might be as an agency owner or as a new software developer, you might find that like, hey, like I have to champion this and I have to be the person that runs it. If you have the budget, sweet, like go find creators and have them create on your behalf. Like that's amazing. But if you're kind of lacking some of those resources, do less and just do it better. And instead of trying to do all of it and kind of doing it half-ass and not giving it the full attention, the full effort, and making it actually good depth content.
It's the best advice ever. Because at ClickUp, we've noticed so many times if you don't do something right, so we'd have different teams doing each. And if you're one person, if you're an agency, you got to pick that one hub. So whether it be a newsletter, whether it be a podcast or doing a YouTube, it's got to be that one and then go from there. And then as you grow and get more money, and you can expand.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason that we pick newsletter, guys, and a lot of people are like, why start with a newsletter? It doesn't seem like the best form of content to be putting out, or the best form of content, because like you need to be able to collect subscribers to your newsletter channel, right? Is because we own the newsletter. We own the subscribers to the newsletter. I don't own my Twitter following. I don't own my LinkedIn following. I don't own my YouTube following, right? It's like that is a borrowed audience. And yes, like we could run some probably like retargeting to places like that, like to a subscriber list, but I own the emails that are inside of my newsletter. So when I want to do my call to actions, when I want to post something specific, when we're hosting our events and I want to get our event in front of, our entire 4,000 person newsletter, sweet, I can go ahead and push that out, right? And I have control over that list, and I control what they see from us inside of the email. So that's why the newsletter is our hub, is because we control the list. So kind of keep that in mind. And if you guys are ever hesitating on doing a newsletter, man, I would highly recommend it. It is something that will pay dividends in the future for your business if you're not running one quite yet. Anything else to touch on there, Chris?
I think that's the main parts. I think I think again the key is really focusing on the one thing. And I like the owning with the newsletter. But as you're sitting here talking about, like I don't even have a newsletter. I have to get moving on that. Obviously, ClickUp has a massive one, but for my personal, I need to as well. I think the newsletter is the smartest, because you do not own. Like I can't even see really much about my YouTube followers, right? I can't go in, and how hard it is to grow on YouTube. Like it's hard. It takes
very
a lot
hard.
of time. I need to learn more about the newsletter game. I actually was taking a ClickUp reminder to study into newsletters more, because we have a whole team that runs it at ClickUp, but I need to do it myself too.
For sure.
Robert can help me in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. So you guys, real quick, I want you guys to drop, if you're doing any type of newsletter, just let me know in the comments real quick. Like, hey, drop a link to your newsletter, because I need to subscribe to some newsletters and people that are crushing it on their newsletter. So if you guys are doing a newsletter, drop your link to your newsletter, and I want to subscribe to it, because I want to get some really good new ideation for my newsletter as well.
I highly recommend Robert. Robert Katias is great. His is all about B2B influence. It's everything we're trying to teach right now. He dives into, and he does like full deep dives. He might even do yours next.
I love it.
Check out Marketer's Playbook as well, Corey. That's a great name.
Marketer's Playbook. Okay, we'll check that one out. Sick. All right, so what are templates exactly? So we talked hubs, we talked spokes, but we need templates, okay? And guys, this is the number one thing that I pulled from Justin Welsh's course, was developing templates so you can write more effectively, more efficiently. And so essentially templates are just formats for our spoke content that we know to be successful, okay? And so for this is a 2-step post that I put out a little while back. This was a couple of years back, but essentially this is a 2-step post that I was able to distill down into a template that I can repurpose for pretty much any type of content, okay? So the example that we have on the right side here, I'll read that first. We've worked with 50 plus digital agencies in the past 12 months. The common denominator, each struggled with time and energy management. So we developed a planner specifically for agency owners / staff. Retweet and reply impact, and I'll send you the link to download it. Okay. Now, this tweet ended up doing extremely well for me, right? 563 comments, 319 retweets, 344 likes, 69 saves. Okay. So a lot of people were interested in this tweet. It got a lot of engagement, got a lot of impressions. And so I was able to take this tweet and say, this is a good piece of content. I could probably utilize this format for other pieces of content that I'm trying to post. So what I did is I distilled this down into a template. And so the example here is weave the thing you've done and to establish credibility. So we've worked with 50 plus digital agencies in the past 12 months, credibility builder, the common denominator, the common pain point. And so you could plug in any pain point here that you want, right? This is, this could be something specifically on, your ideal client's pain points. Okay. So it's like, hey, the common denominator, they struggled with X, Y, and Z. So we developed whatever resource, whatever training that you're going to be giving away that actually fixes that pain point. So for us, like, hey, we developed a planner that specifically was made for agency owners and staff. And then retweet and reply, whatever your call to action is, and I'll send you the link for the download. Okay. And so what we'll do is it doesn't have to be 2 steps as well. Like 2-step resources are awesome. We absolutely love them. They get a ton of engagement, but you can do this for any type of post. Okay. And so that kind of takes us into our content system. Okay. So now that we have a concept of hub, spoke, and templates, now we can start to do some of the ideation capture, some of the research, the templatizing, writing and recording, and then publishing. So really excited to kind of dive into this so far. If you guys have questions, make sure you drop them in the chat for us as we go through this.
I have a quick question too, Josh. Are you using something like ManyChat or anything when you're giving the templates to automatically give it out when people comment?
Good question. Yeah, such a great question. So if you guys are ever doing 2 steps and wondering how we do it personally, we have a setting team that works our DM. So Tyler Lee, I think he's actually in here right now.
Nice.
But we'll actually go into the DMs for me because we've kind of found there are automated tools that you can use that will automatically send things out. But what we found was it was a really ineffective way to continue the conversation after.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So what we did is we put our setting team in place of that automation, and we're having one-on-one conversations with people. And so kind of how we start the conversation typically is we just want to see if they're still interested in the resource. So we'll ask a question somewhere along the lines of like, hey, are you still interested in, the impact planner? And they're like, yep, still interested. Awesome. Here it is. We do the resource drop. So we give it to them, of course. And then from there, hey, like what made you want to download this in the first place? And then we start the conversation. We try to do like a mini discovery in the DMs. And then we try and book a call with them, right? If it's something that we can actually help with. So that's how we're doing it. And that's how we're setting more calls in the DMs using that type of strategy, right? So we're not doing automated stuff just because we've always found that when we did automated, our responses were a lot lower. We weren't able to continue the conversation. So what we typically do is we dangle the carrot one more time. Like, hey, Chris, still interested in this? And Chris is like, yeah, absolutely. Send it over. Awesome. Here it is. Deliver the value. And then we continue the conversation when they respond to us, right? So they say we still want it. So we try to get back to them really quick. That way they're still engaged in the conversation.
Good stuff. I knew I was like ManyChat is just leaving too much on the table.
Yeah, there's too much gap, right? The classic terminology is that time kills deals, right? Time kills deals every single time, right? So for us, like we need to be able to get as close to that response as possible. And if we're sending that automated message, like chances are we're not working those DMs as quickly.
Not being personal kills deals too. People want to they want another person. So you have to find a way to be personal and take it a step further. So I'm glad you do that in your process because many do not do that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. So you guys, let's break down the content system in 5 simple steps here. Idea capture, research, templatize, write, record, and publish. So our first step in this is going to be the ideate, and you'll need some time to actually ideate. And you'll see here every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. I have in my calendar ideation time. Okay. And this is where I'm going to go into content platforms and I'm going to start pulling ideation from other influencers in the space, people that I really like and resonate with in the space. Okay. And so to find great ideas, I look on Twitter, I looked on LinkedIn, I look on YouTube, other email newsletters, blogs, your most popular posts as well. See what you've done in the past month that has really resonated with your audience. Medium articles. And then you probably have a list of your own places where you find great ideas as well. Wherever you find great ideas, go to those places. Okay. And one of the places I love to go is YouTube. YouTube is awesome for idea generation, especially taking YouTube ideation into written content. And so Nick Terrio, if you guys aren't familiar with Nick Terrio, he's one of my favorites. He's a good friend of mine, but he posts specifically on YouTube, has about 33,000 subscribers, but he creates very niche content specifically for ecom owners, right? So he talks all on Facebook ads specifically for the ecom niche, right? And so you can see here, his top posts were all about how to target your ideal audience in 2024 with Facebook ads, broad targeting and dynamic creatives 2024, Facebook ads tutorial, how to target your ideal audience in 2024 with Facebook ads. His top performing videos all had something to do with targeting or some sort of Facebook ads tutorial, right? So if you're an ecom and you're seeing 40K views, 33K views, 33K views, this is probably a good piece of content to watch and be able to take into your own platform and say, cool, now what is my stance on, targeting your audience on Facebook in 2024, right? And you know that this is going to be a hot piece of content because it's already performed well for somebody else. So all you do is take, and I'm not saying like go and repeat exactly what Nick's doing, but you probably have your own methodology, right? This is the best thing about Facebook ad guys, right? It's like everyone has their own methodology and everybody is wrong, right? So come in there, you drop your own methodology, right? Because I'm sure Nick's is slightly different than what you're doing. Okay. So find great ideas on YouTube. Okay. And then here is the hack right here. Download Tweet Hunter Google plugin. This one, gotta have it. Gotta have it. You can go to anybody's profile and pull their top performing content all time or recently. And for me, like this is such a great place to find those templates and be able to distill them down into frameworks that you guys can utilize for your own content. And example here, Chase Diamond. If you guys aren't familiar with Chase, which I'm assuming most of you are, big in the email marketing space. But I could see June 27th, 2022, Chase made his most popular post. And I can break that thread down, see why it performed well, turn it into a template, and then utilize it for my own content. Yeah. So if you guys don't have that Tweet Hunter Google plugin, it's 100% free. Highly recommended. It is so helpful when you're kind of skimming for ideation. All right. And then we're going to pull these ideas into ClickUp. So I pulled Chase's piece here, is his tweet. And if you guys don't have the ClickUp plugin, man, this is one of the most effective things when it comes to grabbing quick ideation. And what I have is I have just a list inside of ClickUp where I will take a screenshot of this post. I'll copy and paste the copy of the post into the description. And then quickly I have it pre-notified to go into that specific list every time. So I can quickly grab these. So I'm grabbing 15, 20 of these in maybe half an hour as I'm just reading, researching different posts. Okay. So download the ClickUp plugin. And then from there, you can create your templates.
And by the way, when Josh used ClickUp before I knew him, so I didn't force him to do any of this. I promise.
Facts. Yeah, I've been a day one ClickUp user, so we used it inside of our agency. We use it inside of this now, and for me, it's like it just makes it streamlines everything for us. It makes life a lot easier, and this plugin is extremely helpful in that. So you can grab a screenshot, and then from there, you can bring it into your ideation library, and then that's where you guys will start templatizing. Okay.
And we built that plugin for us because that's literally the exact reason why we wanted it. Because sometimes you're looking at something, you wanted to be able to grab it, put it right in. You don't want to have to copy paste, switch tabs. That's really why we built that. So it worked out great. And if anyone has not used ClickUp, wants a hookup, just message me one off. I'm happy to give you a free training. Give you a free package to start. Anything like that, just let me know.
Yeah, 100%. So let's run through an actual ideation example here. We have our friend Fraser Cottrell here. If you guys aren't familiar with Fraser, he's in the e-com space, does a lot on specifically ad creatives, e-com ad creatives, performance marketing creatives, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and do an ideation example from Fraser here. Okay. So what we'll do is we can also do research when it comes to like ideation and like polling ideation. If you guys aren't familiar with, Twitter has an advanced search actually. And if you just Google Twitter advanced search, this is what will pop up. And so I can pull up UGC Okay. And I can pull up a minimum likes of 200. So I can see this is the stuff that people are talking about recently inside of UGC content, if that's what you're looking for, whatever it is, you can have any title there that you want. And I can always back my hub content. So for our newsletter, this is one of the biggest hacks. If you really want people to use your newsletter and actually read it, is back it with other people's information, whether that be someone like Fraser or Barry Hot here, where Barry was like, hey, there's more low quality content produced and consumed now than ever before. That's why there's a need for ugly ads in UGC overall, right? So if I'm writing a newsletter on UGC content and the importance of UGC content, and that's what I sell as a service, then I can have, hey, Barry, who isn't even affiliated with me, runs his own business, also says UGC content is important. I do the same thing with like Alex Hormozy tweets, anyone in the space that is backing up your point of view. You can find that in advanced Twitter search. And this is a really easy screenshot to grab and then bring it into your newsletter, bring it into your YouTube content, your LinkedIn content to help back up and support what you're writing about. Okay. So you guys can do a lot of ideation there as well. You can do a lot of research to help back up your hub content. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense so far. Anything to add there, Chris?
No, I was just commenting in. Sorry, I was overlooking the what Chris put in. That was awesome.
Yeah, love it. Chris said, I love ClickUp. My CMO wrote a whole post about how we run our business on it. Let's go.
I was just guilty of looking at high level. I was like, wow, this is whoever wrote this is really, really on point.
Level 10 meeting in ClickUp. Let's go. Huge.
And there's good content right there. That's a hub.
There we go. There we go. All right. So now we have an idea of like where we're getting our ideation from. So we're pulling ideation. Okay. We're doing research specifically on our ideation as well. Then we're going to pull a template. Okay. Now, if you guys wait to the end here, you guys are going to get my entire template library. I have about 400 writing prompts inside of a ClickUp library that you guys can utilize, pick and pull, lays out the whole template. So you don't have to go and templatize a bunch of stuff. Okay. But this is kind of what the template library will look like.
Clean.
But yeah, as you guys are pulling ideation, as you're starting to create your own templates, because I think it's really good to get in a habit of creating some of your own templates so you can learn that skill set. So take that post, be able to distill it down, create a template around it like I did for that 2-step post, and then be able to store it somewhere so you can come back to it and use it time and time again because it's a proven framework that you know that works every single time that you post it. Okay. So we'll pull a template from the library. Okay. You guys can create your own library. You can steal mine at the end if you'd like to. And that's what's going to inform how we're going to write our post. And that's how we're going to get through some of that writer's block. When you have a pre-built template, man, it makes things so much easier. Right. And from here, we're just going to start writing. And so this is one of the templates that I have inside of my library. This one is a free 100K degree. So introduce a topic you can explain to your audience for free. Okay. And this template is most colleges charge you $100,000 plus to learn whatever topic, marketing, business development, whatever it is. But I can explain it to you here for free. A quick breakdown on main point 1, 2, 3. Let's dive in. Okay. So it gives you this pre-built template that you can plug your ideas into without having to think of like a really strong hook or how to structure the body of the actual post itself. Okay. And so this is how we create content really consistently on these platforms, is utilizing these templates and then being able to publish more content through a template. Okay. And then the last piece is going to be publish. Now, we use Hype Fury for our publishing tool. In my personal opinion, it's the best one on the marketplace. So if you're posting on LinkedIn and Twitter on a pretty regular cadence, one, it has some really good ideation tools in there as well. So it's going to give you some more of that. But also, it allows you to really schedule out posts way in advance. And so for us, we always try to get, at least a week's worth of posts out in advance. So it's like we can have a week's worth of posts. That way, we can write a week's worth and then we don't have to worry about it until the next week. Some people do a month. I do a week. I just have a hard time sitting down and writing a month's worth of content. My brain hits a barrier at a certain point in time. So I do a week at a time and I post a week. Now, what's really great about this, guys, is like, you don't always have to be creating net new content, right? Which I think is going to be my next slide here. Okay. Yeah. Which is going to be our recycling platform. Okay. So I have a recycling list inside of ClickUp as well. And guys, this is a game changer because here's the thing is not everyone's going to see your content, and people are definitely not going to remember your content. Okay. So, with that being said, your top post, you should be recycling those. I recycle my top posts once every 90 days at least. And so, what I started to do is I started to pull some of my favorite tweets, my favorite LinkedIn posts, and I started to put it in a repository that I can recycle on a 90-day cadence. So, when I kind of hit this writer's block, and here's the thing, even with templates, even with a really good system, sometimes you do hit a block and you're like, man, like my creative juices are a little bit empty and I don't feel like writing. Great. You don't have to write. Okay. You can maybe change out a hook. Okay. On some of these. And you can see here that I have the virality of the post already marked. So I know, hey, this post is going to pop off if I post it. Okay. Now I have one that didn't do as well. Okay. Gave it a 2 rocket ship emoji out of 5.
I love that scoring
right?
system, dude. That's
Yeah, it's great, right? And so I can take that one and be like, okay, I know that the information is still really good for this post, but maybe my hook fell flat. So maybe I'll just rewrite the hook and try and post this again. See if I can get it up to a 3, 4 rocket ship emoji on this next time. Okay. So we're going to start storing this and we're just going to have a recycling bin of content that we can constantly come back to that we know works. So this is going to be the third template that I give you guys today at the end of this. So make sure you guys are recycling content. You don't always have a need for net new content. Okay. Now, guys, these are the tools that we use. Okay. Hype Fury, ClickUp, and then the Tweet Hunter. That's a free plugin. But if you guys want to sign up for these, I have a Hype Fury affiliate link, ClickUp affiliate link, little plug. I know it's a little shameless. I apologize, but I'll give you guys this. Yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is,
you're
right?
saving them money, and might as well help.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys can sign up for these platforms if you'd like to. They are what I use on a regular basis. I never make recommendations to any software that I don't personally use myself. So these are ones that I use, but if you guys are looking to jump in, a lot of times you get discounts with these sign up links as well, which is kind of nice. So if you're looking to like just try them out, you can go through these links and check them out.
I'm going to add in one more for you, Josh. I've tried all the different tools and I paid so much for Sprout Social and Dash Hudson. Honestly, Vista Social, it's like $40, $30 a month. So if you're looking for something to schedule the rest of your posts, track like every single one behind these, I use all of these as well. Obviously, yep. I think Vista Social is the best. I literally have tried every single one, and it's so much less expensive. So I had to throw that in there. I'm a big fan of them.
Absolutely. Okay. Now on the templates, guys. So of course, like, hey, if you've got value from this, you can use our affiliate links. It's very minimal what we'll get paid from something like that. But I want to make sure that you guys leave with as much value as possible. So at the end here, you guys are going to get our templates, idea capture and curation templates for ClickUp. You're going to get our writing prompts template. There's 400 writing templates that we have inside of ClickUp right now. And then lastly, our recycling bin template as well. And then you'll see some of my most viral posts that we've posted inside of that recycling bin. So that screenshot you saw it with all those pre-populated posts, you'll have access to those and you'll see the posts that did the best for us over time. Okay, so you guys will get access to all of that. And that's pretty much it, guys. We could do some Q&A for a minute. I would love to do that. What do you think, Chris?
Q&A is my absolute favorite.
All right, let's do it.
I like to go off the top of the game. Oh, and Claire, sorry, I just saw your comment. Vista, Vista Social. It's awesome, and it's quite cheap.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah, any questions, ask away. I love this stuff. And I mean, the fact that I've been watching you, Josh, you really are growing. So I'm trying to compete with you, and I'm losing right now, but I'm enjoying the competition because I think LinkedIn is one of those platforms that I had never figured out for myself. I've done really good for ClickUps. I mean, we're like 130K. But then I was like, why am I not growing on my own? So I just started taking it seriously like 3 or 4 months ago. But I'm studying. I'm paying experts to learn. I learned a lot on this. I'm going to use those templates as well.
Absolutely. And you guys, I'm going to drop this presentation link inside of the chat for you guys. I'll try to get it everywhere possible. Sorry if it comes across twice. I'm just posting it inside of our streaming app and then also inside of LinkedIn. So you guys get instant access to all of that. At a minimum, you guys, you should at least grab the templates. Yeah, I think that's going to be probably one of the most important parts of this is utilizing those templates to make your writing just way easier, right? Why play the game on hard mode when you can get access to things that will make you work smarter, not harder?
And just so you know, we're like a we're like a $4 billion company and we still have templates, and that like, but they're not as good as that recycle. Like I just saw that and I was like, man, like we have a version of that, but didn't have the scoring in the same way. Didn't have the cool rocket emojis. So I'm grabbing the template myself.
Let's go. Love it. Cool. What questions do we have, guys? Would love to answer any questions on content, things that we're seeing that are working well right now. We post pretty much every day on LinkedIn, except for like Sundays. Whatever happens on Sunday on LinkedIn, apparently just nobody goes on the platform on Sunday.
God, it's dead. It's dead. I see people keep telling me to post on Sundays. Like I'm good. Corey's, I like your question. So obviously I'm biased. I think our knowledge management's come a long way. So I think you can do it on ClickUp. You're welcome to pay for 2 or 3 tools. I do like Coda. I think Coda's solid at that. I think Notion's decent too. But the thing is, it's like, why switch? Why have to log in, log out when everything can be in one place? We have a new AI launch coming at the end of the year. Sorry, the end of the month. That I'm excited to announce. I guess I can announce it early. Where basically like everything in our AI is also paired to Google Docs and many other tools automatically. So I think that pairing, that third party like universal search we have is kind of unmatched. I really think you can use ClickUp now for everything, especially since we pair so well. We play great with Jira and Notion. That's what really separated us in the early days is like, rather than just fight them, if someone wants to use it, we get it. Like at some companies, they'll use 2 or 3 or 4 different tools. So I think connecting them all is what we do. We're not really one of those, you can't use anything else. And Phil and Josh, I'm sure you've tried a lot of tools as well.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've tried every project manager. I've tried every storage system pretty much under the sun. For me, I want my team to have access to their SOPs, to their trainings as close to where they're doing the day-to-day work as possible. So for me, I just house everything in ClickUp. And if you guys aren't familiar with the table view inside of ClickUp, it's more of like an Excel spreadsheet type view where you can store a lot of information in a very concise area. And so what we do, and I think this is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Chris, but this is what's coming on the platform, is that you're going to have the opportunity to have a storage base inside of ClickUp and then have an AI assistant run alongside of you. And so you can essentially say, if you don't know how the SOP runs or you're not, your team's not sure, great. We can talk to the AI and say, hey, I forgot how to do this step in this process. And then boom, it just pulls it and it's right there for your team. And so that's why I'm like so bullish on like, just build it in ClickUp, just build it in ClickUp, because the AI features that are coming through ClickUp, and I think this is where it's going, are going to allow your team to be like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you remind me real quick?
It's not just where it's going, man. I wish I could hire you. That's crazy. You knew that. That's where it is now. So for me, I almost forget because I use in a staging environment. I'm using ClickUp. So right now, that's kind of how we use it. I'll come in and like for HR, for example, rather than me asking a question for HR, all of our HR documentation is in ClickUp, right? It's built in ClickUp. So I can just go to Ask AI and say, hey, what is my time off policy? And it pulls it right away because it goes and searches through there. I know a guy who like couldn't figure out how to fix his refrigerator. And what he did was he took the manual online, downloaded it, put it in ClickUp, and then started asking ClickUp AI the questions, and it walked him through it because everything's in there. Rather than you reading like a 600-page doc, it can read it in seconds with AI. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think with our AI, I don't see anyone else doing that yet. Of course, in the world, everyone copies, but right now, you can build your company inside of ClickUp and almost turn your own ClickUp, your own company inside of ClickUp into an AI company because you can ask it everything automatically.
Yep. 100%.
You have any great prompts to go along with the templates? Yeah, I should send some too. I like the Risen framework. I'll send that one out. That's one that I found is really good. I put in ClickUp. I have a full article, Chris. I'll send it to you that I wrote on that I think helps, that you can just plug in with Josh's templates beautifully. And I'm sure there's 400 in your template, right?
Yeah, there's 400 templates that you guys can just like plug your own into. As far as like ChatGPT prompts go, my favorite one, if you're feeling lazy, is using, if you guys aren't familiar with Sam Parr, he does a podcast called My First Million. But he's an excellent copywriter. And so if I'm feeling like extra lazy, I will take a post that I'm kind of like writing, and I'll be like, hey, write this in Sam Parr's voice for me. And every time it gives me something that's usually better than what I'm writing. So if you're feeling like a little extra lazy, use Sam Parr's writing style. Incredible. Is a great ChatGPT prompt. Dude writes so much. He's an excellent copywriter. Is very funny in the way that he writes. It's like very personable as well. So that's one that I utilize for ChatGPT prompts and writing. Outside of that, I just use my templates. Normally I can I can riff and create pretty good content through the templates.
Same. I'll run it back. And that kind of jumps into Juan Pablo's questions. Do you use AI to streamline content creation? You write it yourself? Look, I always use AI to streamline anything I can to save time. I'm obsessed with saving time. But at the same time, I like to really put my own thoughts into things. Like a lot of ways, like how my content comes about is I usually go take a walk and I have whatever comes to my mind, I just start spitting it out. And then I have a tool in ClickUp. I'll send it to you guys. I think the website is we put it to a domain. I'll think of it here in a bit before I close off. But I have this tool where I can take the voice memo, put it into ClickUp, and ClickUp AI will create a LinkedIn post, a Twitter thread, and a newsletter writing from my thoughts. It's not always perfect, but it gets it going. But a lot of my thoughts come from or my posts come from me taking a walk and then just thinking about that and going. So I never want AI to do too many of my ideas, and it'll be similar to everyone else. Even if you do add, so many prompts, it's still going to be something that's not from your brain. I think the beauty of creating content is like taking an idea, it's yours, right? That's still something that AI cannot create. It's something that you kind of bring to fruition. So sometimes I use AI to kind of streamline or put it together or take my jumbled notes and clean it up. But at the end of the day, I want to make my content. I want to find the problem. I want to give the solution. I want to take it through things that I've experienced because that's like the beauty that no one else can take.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll chime in on this one as well. What I typically do for a lot of my like topics that I'm going to write on. Of course, like I can pull from my templates and stuff, but you still have to have a topic to write on, right? So what I'll do is I'll skim all of my Slack channels. We work with about 50 plus digital agencies right now. And I'll go into our consulting chats and see, okay, what questions are our clients asking, our consultants? And then also, what is our community saying? And then I'll see what other people are asking on different platforms. So I'm like trying to find what are the pain points? What are the challenges that people are running into now? And then the second thing that I do is like, hey, what am I working on? Like, what are my challenges? How am I going about fixing it? Because people like that transparency, right? When you're struggling a little bit, or like when you're trying to, we all have pain points, we all have bottlenecks. Like those never go away. Like Chris and I aren't running the perfect businesses over here. Trust me. So
I wish.
Yeah, let me write on hey, this is what I'm trying to problem solve, and this is what I'm bringing as a solution for my own bottlenecks. So that's what I do to write a lot of my content, see what questions my clients are asking, and then see what other content other people are posting about and questions and struggles that they're having, and then my own problems and struggles. So
killer questions, by the way. Clara, yeah. What are the main metrics you're tracking? Our goal is brand awareness, reach, engagements. Our main KPIs. Oh, I love how they pop up like that. Yeah, same. Like I obviously like a big one for me is impressions. Like I run all things social marketing. So a big part of us is just impressions, and then signups is the ultimate goal, but not everything do I just track signups. Like I'm strategic on when I'm going for signups. I'm strategic on when I'm just trying to go viral, right? Like I think I found a lot of value in TikTok, and that people may think it's all kids on the platform, but I've been hitting 2, 5 million, 10 million views on that. And then also repurposing it to Instagram and Facebook and I've had a 10 million video on Facebook Reels, same with Instagram. And those just get talked about so much. Like we had 2 enterprise deals that came in. I'm talking major deals. One of them from I won't say name, I guess, a top 10 company. And they had ghosted us, and they came back and they were like, hey, like, I know we messed up here, but we love your TikToks. Let's revisit the conversation. So those are things you can't fully track. When you get to a brand like our size, you have to be playing the game everywhere. But again, I think it's smart to take Josh's formula and kind of start with where you can control, where you own the audience, and then go for the big swings, the home runs, whatever. But you got to start getting those singles. So I think really KPIs. I think getting people to just respond to you, like asking. I think that's one of the best gauges is people asking for the template or things like that, because then you're giving them value. You're starting a conversation. You're starting something more meaningful than just a regular response or a comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll add 2 just from YouTube that we're tracking. Like we're on LinkedIn, we're tracking engagement rates, things like that. But on YouTube, the only 2 that we're paying attention to right now is click-through rate. So ability to get people to click on the video, and then average percentage viewed. So we want people to stay on the content and actually watch it. So those are 2 KPIs that we're going to track very closely when it comes to our video content. Everything else is going to be the reach, the engagement, the following. That's what we're going to track on like LinkedIn and Twitter. Let's see here. So
I got
look at some of the other questions. Is it one?
Is the frequency of
yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Does the frequency of content matter in growing your LinkedIn? Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So right now, at a minimum cadence, once a day. On like when we're really on our game, twice a day. That's the cadence that we're doing specifically on LinkedIn. So that has shown that, like, if you want 50 followers per day, there's a couple things that you should be doing. One, you need to max out your requests, your connection requests every single week. Okay. Because LinkedIn is not a platform like Instagram or YouTube or Facebook where it's like, when it comes to LinkedIn, when you make a connection, it is a follow for follow. So you make a connection request with someone, you follow them, they follow you. So they're going to see your content, you're going to see theirs. So for us, there is a lot of benefit to making as many connection requests as you can. And so our team, we do 20, 25 a day is kind of the max that we see on a connection request. But if you want to grow your following fast, great. Make 25 connection requests every single day. Put it in your, hand it off to your VA or EA and have them make those connection requests, because you're going to grow by 20 to 25 people just doing that every single day. Not also considering all the content that you're posting. And if you don't have much of a following either on LinkedIn and you're trying to grow, this is the cheat code. That's the fastest path to getting a following, is just max out your connection requests every single week. So yes, the frequency does matter, but if you're not maxing out your connection requests, and then also if you're not engaging on other people's profiles,
yeah, perfect.
That's going to be the other thing that you're going to need to do. Because like that's what's going to get people over to your profile, because LinkedIn's actually a really good community, right? It's like, when I start commenting on Chris's stuff, well, Chris also returns the favor and he comments on my stuff, right? And it's like, this is how we build these relationships. And, Chris, we've known each other for a little bit now, but it's like, I've built a couple really solid relationships with influencers that are much bigger than me just by being consistent on every time they post, I comment.
And not just a comment, like really think about it. Don't just like use magic reply, like actually think and like put your brain again, not just using AI to respond. People love it. They feel it. And then, yeah, it's more just sharing love. And a lot of times it's being genuine. You don't want to be that most annoying person like that's trying to get clout off their comment. Like show some love, add some value to the post, and they'll love it too. So that answers Juan Pablo's next question too. Corey, I 2 weeks we're doing a LinkedIn Live to dive into ClickUp AI. Josh, I can't wait for you to see it. We're going to have this guy, Joe, who we've hired. He's an absolute genius. I'll probably get a couple AI influencers on the live, but I can't wait to show you all what we're like kind of re-releasing with our AI, because there's just so much on there. What do you think about blogging on LinkedIn versus your website, or doing the same topic? That's a great question. I have not taken full advantage of the blogging with LinkedIn. We have a massive team though. We're putting out so many blogs, it's ridiculous. But I will tell you that a lot of ClickUp's early growth came from blogging and SEO. And at the beginning, it was just 4 of us, right? It was just 4 employees. And Zeb was so funny to get the most out of us. Like, everyone should know this. Like, when we were building ClickUp, we were nobody, right? We were just 4 guys in Palo Alto and Silicon Valley. And, we were just trying to get attention. So he had every single one of us write 2 blogs a week. We also read 1 book a week, and we had to do a book report to the rest of the team. So it was like we were reading 4 books a week. We had 5:30 a.m. stand-ups Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. stand-ups Saturday and Sunday. Work 7 days a week. So like the time was there, but putting those blogs early on is what really got us a lot of attention.
Yeah.
So, I definitely think you need to do it on your own website. But Josh, you might be doing it on LinkedIn more than I am.
Yeah. We don't do a ton of blog posts. Our blogs are kind of case studies, I would say. So like anything that we're kind of posting on that side is going to be either newsletter. So we do newsletter instead of blog. And then we do case studies. But we post them on both. So post it on your, like, if you're going to write it for one, you might as well post
why
it
not post it on there? Actually, I need to talk to the team about doing that.
Yeah, just double post it. I think that's probably going to be your best bet. Like if you're doing it on one platform, you might as well post it on another. Let's see here. What other questions? Is this a question? Okay, deep dive. We already covered that, Corey. What about content interaction with other people? Yeah, 100% want to make sure that you're constantly engaging with others. It helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just set a time. Like I usually, I don't want to be on LinkedIn all day, right? But I think like when I'm eating lunch, I typically log into LinkedIn, and that's my time to kind of comment and know how to find the right stuff. And then like towards the end of the day, so I just spend like 15 minutes and I get a decent amount of comments in.
Absolutely. Yeah, Chris, reach out to me, man. You can shoot me a DM, or you can head over to our website and book a call with our growth team. Either one.
I'm doing the same too, Chris. So we'll do it together.
Let's go. Let's go, Chris. He's like, yeah, the whole thing is value bombs, rare in webinars these days. Yeah, man. Chris and I are definitely value first people. It's like your audience grows just when you just give for free.
So many people don't realize that the gatekeeping is crazy out here. Like,
yeah,
why are you gatekeeping?
It's just information, man. It's like, and chances are, I love our audience, and I know you guys are going to go implement, or hope you guys go implement. But here's the thing: is like people are still going to struggle doing these things, right? And people are still going to need help. And so, at the end of the day, like information is commoditized nowadays. But it's like the implementation. That's where it's really hard for people to like actually apply it and actually implement it into their own business.
What allowed us to scale is like we look at everything as like a spinning plate, right? So like this formula you taught, that's a plate that you have to spin. You got to keep it going, right? So then you pick up another spinning plate. So it's like how many can you do without still dropping them? So you have to really focus on what you're actually going to dive into. And at some point, you need to get another team or another person.
Yep, absolutely.
Perry, what's up, Perry? Yeah, we've got a lot. We got a lot coming. The AI, Zeb's going pretty wild on the AI, so I'm really excited to show it. Let's see how many people. It's not. We don't have that many, if I'm being honest, many as you would think.
It seems like there's like 50.
That's what everyone thinks. We're just high. I feel like we're highly efficient. So I'm kind of I would say I'm like the strategist, and then I have a creator, Luke, who's just unreal. I have a couple people on contract. So I have a girl named Stormy who's awesome, and she helps with the day-to-day, the posting, keeping organized. And then I have a couple of contractors. I have one who kind of helps with writing some posts a little bit. And then I have one who kind of helps with the production, the ideas. But right now, ClickUp is growing like 10 new pages. You can see ClickUp work stories. I have ClickUp memes. So on the side, secretly, I've started these other pages just last month. And my goal is to have like 10 very big pages, not just ClickUps. Like ClickUps is doing well, but I want to have a whole army of pages so I can go to our board and say, like, we're really rocking here on this social media thing. What type of link content have you seen get the highest ROI? Ooh, good question, Perry. Let me think for a second. I think it's.
Yeah, I can go first if you want me to.
Yeah, hit it.
So ours is definitely our two-step posts. So anything that we're kind of like hanging the carrot in front of them of like a free training, a free resource, a downloadable, like all of our lead magnets, we put into a two-step type resource where it's like comment on this, like this, and we'll send it to you. Because what it does is it opens. All we're trying to do is we're just trying to start a conversation. So if you guys are if you guys are in services or you're trying to get like more clients, more customers, you guys, it's all about just starting the conversation, right? It's very hard just to hit someone with like a direct call to action of like, sign up for my thing, right? We need to start a conversation. We need to find that there's a problem, and then we need to be able to insert a solution. So for us, that has always been the highest ROI activity for us, is like doing some sort of two-step post of like, hey, if you like and comment on this, we'll send you X training. And then when they do that, it opens the conversation for us to see if there's a place to work together.
Those are killer. I think the big one for me, I have a rule of 3 before I post on ClickUp, and it's you got to add value, you got to teach them something, or you got to make them laugh. And I think the big one for us is really when I teach someone something. So what I do is I go look on Reddit, or I go look around for like a problem where people are asking a big question, and I teach in a cool way. And still the most viral post I had on ClickUp, it had like almost 5,000 likes, hundreds of comments, shares. And I think that post was, I did PM versus PM versus PM, project manager versus product manager versus program manager, because everyone was so confused at what all these different PM roles were. And I had like the KPIs, I had what they do, how they do it. And I think that one just popped because it's something quick that people can save. And so for me, visuals do really well. And not even just a carousel. Sometimes just a single visual will outperform a carousel, because I think in 30, 45, 60 seconds max, someone can learn something, they can save it, take a picture of it, and retain it. So those do really well for ClickUp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Corey asks, what formula has worked for your thumbnails? Transparently, Corey, this is something that is always like what are we doing?
I'm still trying to figure this.
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea how to create thumbnails. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I've read every piece of advice on it, but I swear they're outdated in 2 weeks. It changes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like you kind of have to find the zag when the whole market is zigging. So it's like everyone is trying to create like the highest like the best creative thumbnails possible, like really having like sharp images and things like that. I think it's going to go reverse. Like if you kind of watch Hormozy trends, that's kind of informs you on some stuff. Hormozy went from like very elaborate thumbnails, and if you look at his last 10-ish videos, very simple. Okay, very simple. What's the video going to be about? What's the value that's going to be delivered? And I think YouTube specifically really rates their algorithm on, is what's on the thumbnail, is that what is going to be delivered inside of the video? And I think if you can align those two things, your thumbnails will do well. Because the algorithm knows of like, hey, this is what we're talking about in the thumbnail. Is that delivered in the YouTube video? Same thing with the title, right? Is the title actually what is inside of the thumbnail? They're going to reward you for that. So as far as formulas, lots of testing. I can tell you this. I asked the head of creative at acquisition.com like what they're doing for thumbnails. This exact question.
Michael?
I believe Michael. I
I know Michael well. I hired him when he was at Dragonfruit, and then Alex Hormozy bought his entire agency. He's great.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he's like, we create anywhere between 30 and 50 thumbnails per video before we even write the video, before we script anything. So we do the thumbnails first, and then we have 30 to 50 iterations, very similar to like what Mr. Beast does. And then from there, if it doesn't perform at a certain metric within the first, I believe, hour of the video getting posted, they swap the thumbnail.
And they swap it again the second hour and just keep going until one.
Exactly. But what he said is they only test one thing at a time. So like if you're going to change the title, only change the title and let it roll. So
great advice.
You can only make a certain amount of changes. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm telling you, they run a different operation over there. It's very tight.
They do. Yeah. It's a whole agency running it.
That's right. What was the weekly LinkedIn content connection limit? It's about 20, 25 a day, Felix. They'll let you know when you're out. They'll say like, hey, you can't make any more connection requests.
They'll quickly let you know.
Yeah. It's not like a downgrade on your profile or anything. They're just like, hey, you can't make any more this week.
They're like, chill out for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's get like one or two more questions.
Yeah.
And then we got to hop here. Are you using any tools? This will be our last question from Clara here. Are you using any tools that helps track people you are focusing on, engaging, like LinkedIn list type? So we use Sales Navigator to like continue conversations. So that one's really powerful. And then we use Go High Level as well. Anyone that like what we do is we create a contact list. We call it our hot list. Anyone that's like really engaging with us, is like carrying conversation, seems kind of interested, we'll manually enter their information into what we call like our hot list. And so we'll have that constant conversation with them. And then we could set tasks and things like that to come back around and have chats with those people a little bit later on. So 100% Sales Navigator is pretty good for like just quick like internal comms in LinkedIn, and then as well as Go High Level or any CRM. We just use Go High Level. It's the best bang for your buck for what you get.
I'm Sales Navigator, and then I use a tool called Front, and Go High Level is probably better, more cost effective. We've just been using Front, and we kind of came up with them, so we're loyal to them. Yep. But it's like your inbox. So it's like where my email is, DMs come in, everything's just in one inbox, which I love. Oh yeah, they're asking about the templates. Where I need to download the templates.
Yeah,
too.
I posted them in the chat here. Let me post them a couple more times. That way you guys can snag these.
I probably just missed them from the questions coming in.
Yeah. So I just posted them inside of the LinkedIn chat there.
So Canva has the templates too?
So the Canva, the links are inside of the Canva.
Perfect. Got it. Yeah.
So at the very end of the presentation. So you guys can look back through the presentation if you want to get a recap, as well as grab the templates. So hopefully you guys can grab those. If for some reason you have a hard time, just DM me and I'll have my team send them over. Okay.
Sweet. Good stuff, everyone. The questions were great. Josh, man, I learned a lot. I was taking notes. The only reason I looked away sometimes, I was taking notes and adding reminders. So I learned a lot as well. So I can't thank you enough for really coming in and adding a lot of value. And
of course,
always supporting ClickUp, man. It means a lot. We're going to keep supporting you and making the tool better and better.
Let's go. Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next one.